Well, hello, everybody. Happy Friday. It's been a while since being on the Friday program of the Slate. Not two hosts, but three this afternoon, early evening. Great to have you with us. We're going to break down a lot of baseball on the show. Full 15-game slate, 13 games on the main contest tonight on DraftKings. Also taking a look at the DraftKings Sportsbook. This is the Slate. We are a DraftKings show that airs Monday through Friday. We come to you live on the DraftKings YouTube and Twitch pages. Also streaming on the DK Live Twitter account, DK Nation, DK Live. Good to be with you all. Brendan Glasheen with Matt LaMarca and Steve Buchanan. Gentlemen, it's good to be back with you here. It's been a while. How are you both doing?
Nice to see you're in your car wash and very happy to see you.
Yeah, I mean, I'll keep you guys posted on what kind of cars might be driving by and if any windshield wipers break or, a mirror falls off. But hopefully everything goes okay.
How much for the extra service?
Glash Bukes doesn't live in the same tax bracket as us. He doesn't realize that that's clearly the outward facing window on your mountain resort. Getaway, little ski in, ski out, maybe Vail. I don't know. You tell us.
Yeah, I'm not going to. I'm just gonna keep it up. Parts unknown, as they like to say in the business. But good to be with you. I've got my DraftKings fantasy baseball shirt on. I wanted to come in my uniform for today's show. But yeah, a lot of games to get to. Some really good matchups here on this slate. You've got Astros, Blue Jays. That one's looking like a possible ALCS preview potentially.
Oh, yeah? Oh, really?
Okay, Mr. So? Mariners, calm down. The Angels and the White Sox are also playing each other. White Sox, though, are off to a slow start. Phillies, Mets is a good one. NL East, right? Cubs, Brewers. I mean, the Cubs aren't very good, but the Brewers are pretty good. Anywho, and then some lopsided games. Do you like the Reds? What's up with the Reds, guys? The Reds are a mess. The Reds are a mess. The Nationals are a mess. They're bottom two in Major League Baseball and run differential. Who am I just to keep rattling off matchups? Let's just go to the experts. Steve Buchanan, what's a game or two that's jumping out at you for tonight? And what comes to mind on this slate?
Well, just speaking about the Reds, I've already contacted the DraftKings Sportsbook to see if they can cash our under 79.5 wins for the Reds. If they can do that maybe next month, because that's obviously going to hit when you're all, exiting the month of April and you only get 3 wins under your belt at this point. I think there's a good chance they're not going to win 80 games. So I'm trying to get that cash for all the people right now, because I'm sure they could use that money. You know what I mean? It was a great bet to make, and I'm just trying to get that out there to them as soon as possible.
You got that at 79.5, huh?
Yeah, because I'm a smart guy. That's why I'm an MLB expert. That's why they have that on my lower third. I mean, to be fair, it did close at 76.5. It wasn't a big drop off. I'm actually surprised it closed at that number. And I think LaMarca will agree with me that, they just don't have a team to put out there. And the moves that they made, the guys that they traded, like that team's going absolutely nowhere. So I'm actually surprised that it closed as high as 76.5, because while they didn't have the fire sale that the Oakland A's had, they definitely got rid of some important pieces.
They did, right? And they did so very late in the game, right before the season started. Yep. So to your point, if you got in on the Reds early, you got a better number as far as the total, and it moved quite a bit. LaMarca, how about you? The Reds are not very good. That Steve kind of hit on that. What about you? What do you look at on this slate tonight that you're trying to capitalize on?
I'm trying to take advantage of a young man making his major league debut tonight for the Baltimore Orioles by the name of Kyle Bradish. I think that this is a nice spot to grab some Orioles money line as home underdogs. Bradish, he's not the highest ranked prospect in the Orioles system. He's 7th overall, but he's had a phenomenal start to the year in the minors, 1.2 ERA through his first 3 starts. And he certainly can't be any worse than what the Orioles have been using at starting pitcher. So on the other side, you've got Rich Hill, who kind of been a disaster for the Red Sox. I mean, he's striking out less than 5 batters per 9 innings through his first 3 starts. He's got an xFIP of up over 6. The Orioles offense is not particularly imposing, but they have historically been better against left-handed pitching than they have against right-handed pitching. So this looks like a good spot for me. I think that the line has moved a little bit here in the Orioles' favor. Yes. Which is unfortunate. I would have loved to have grabbed them at plus 120, which is what it was earlier in the day. But definitely getting some sharp activity, right? The Orioles have gotten about 40% of the dollars on 27% of the bets. And one of my favorite things to talk about is that it's easier to be first than it is to be right. You know what I'm saying? That's a very common investing strategy. If you can't be smarter than everybody else, just be first. So I'm trying to be first here on Kyle Bradish. If he's good, we're going to look back at this number a few months from now or weeks from now and say, wow, we could get him as an underdog in his first start.
Got no props on him. I was just going to look and see if we had a K prop or something. I guess it's because of the unknown, right? I mean, we don't know what we're going to get. How do you set the market?
I would imagine he's probably limited in his first start. I mean, he's been going about 5 innings per game in the minors, but if your major league debut, I don't know how hard they're going to push it.
True. So is there a breaking point for you on taking Baltimore? At what point do you look at the line and say, okay, I don't want to touch it? I
think as long as they're even money or better, I'm okay with it. If you have to lay with the Orioles, then I'm not particularly interested.
Okay. Very good. How do both of you feel about, so the DraftKings, of course, being, our platform here, DraftKings Sportsbook. Clearly books have made the adjustment on totals after unders have hit remarkably well, or at least 50%, no question here out of the gate. Do either of you have, there's a lot of factors that go into that, of course, but a lot of that has to do with how good relief pitching has been. So to LaMarca's point, who knows what we get out of Bradish, but these guys are going through the order 1, 2, 3 times max, and then they're turning it over to the pen, and the bullpens have been good, leading to some of these totals, but we're seeing numbers now, Steve, dip into the 7.5, some 7s on the board. Any of these totals that you plan on attacking tonight from an over standpoint? Because at what point do you just say, okay, it's getting too low?
Well, just a quick note on that Red Sox game too. So it sounds like Rich Hill is actually being used as an opener, and then Tanner Houck is coming in and doing the bulk. So that is an opportunity where I think you start hammering those Rich Hill unders, because I think they're really kind of set as him being the starter in this game. Like 3.5 strikeouts. He's only hit that, I think, in one of his starts thus far, because he's not going deep into game. I'm obviously not taking him to record a winner, not, the nose at -300. That's obviously a little too much. But yeah, some of these unders on him, I think, are something to take a look at here, because that was not the case this morning. We saw this morning, Rich Hill was listed as the starter. Tanner Houck was not supposed to be the long reliever that I knew of. But that seems to be the consensus now. So under 3.5 strikeouts looks a little enticing at +120, because Rich Hill has not been somebody that's been striking out someone to begin with. The Orioles are a strikeout prone team, but like LaMarca alluded to, this team is vastly underperforming against lefties. That club last year gave left-handed pitching fits last year, because they have so many guys on that club that can hit lefties, whether it's Mountcastle, whether it's Hayes, Santander, Mancini, like I'm missing one other guy too, but Mullins too, who, the left-on-left crime that you can have there. Just all guys that can hit lefties extremely well. So this is a good spot, I think, for taking some of those Rich Hill unders.
Rich Hill, last 2 starts combined, 3 strikeouts. Held to 4 innings against the Rays, 4 2/3 against Minnesota.
The guy stinks. I mean, I don't know how he's still in the league. Like, we call him Big, Mountain. Like, he's anything but that. Okay, he ain't no big, thick. That's the word it rhymes with. You can take it from there. Mountain. He's been anything but that. Okay, he needs to go and go over the mountain, if you know what I'm saying. Like, he's done. Go over the hill. Like, he's got to get off the mound.
Are we allowed to do Red Sox slander with DraftKings anymore with Carabas now here with us? Is that okay?
Carabas is an unbiased reporter. He
right. That first, then a Red Sox journalist.
Right. So I'm not doing anything wrong.
Okay. Well, and you know what? We do want to come here and deliver accurate, fair, non-biased information, and it's a good idea, if you haven't done so already, to look at the Baltimore Orioles on the money line, because the Red Sox they also haven't scored runs. So
right.
they're not hitting. They're not hitting. But look, they do play well at Camden Yards. They are 13-3 in their last 16 straight up at Camden Yards, the Red Sox.
Yep. And then back to your original question about the over under.
Please, fantastic. Thank you.
So the under continues to crush.
Yep.
Overall, it's been crushing even over the past week. It's hit 57.3% of the time over the last 7 days. The baseball is a hot topic once again. Somebody said a current major league player anonymously said to Will Middlebrooks that hitting the baseball is like hitting a pile of dry socks or something along those lines. Not exactly a glowing endorsement, but you're right.
So the pitchers can't grip it and the batters can't hit it. Sounds like a bang up job.
Right. It sounds like a game that we can really get into. But you're right, because you start looking at these over-unders and it's like, at what point is the book going to get slammed? Because one of these nights, and quite frankly, that was Wednesday, they got slammed on the over-under because we had a number of games that were over double digits. And then it kind of regressed again last night. It was back to normal, but these totals are getting low, like 7.5, 7.5, 8.5, 8.5. Like, you're hard pressed to find a total nowadays that's 9 or above. Is there even one for tonight? I don't think so. I think the highest is 8.5 for tonight.
The
court, in Coors Field, excuse me. But other than that, they're all so low. And it's like, on a normal basis, would you ever imagine like a Kyle Hendricks, Adrian Hauser game to be 7.5? No. Right? Like, absolutely not.
Even Bumgarner, Wainwright. I mean,
yeah, Bumgarner. Well, Wainwright's been pretty good.
Wainwright has found the fountain of youth.
Except for his last start when I bet him and the Cardinals to go 1.5 over the Reds. And that's like the only game they've covered so far on their run line. So there is that. But like in that game specifically, I'm almost positive from this morning, it was like the Cardinals run total was at 5.5 and the Diamondbacks were at 2.5. So like, that's how it evens out there. But right. Like, these just totals are just so, and even go down one more, Savali, and who was it? Yeah. And Frankie Montas, a 6.5. Like, that's crazy, right? Like, that on a normal basis, no way. So yeah, I think these totals are starting to get a little too low. And at the end of the day, this is going to even out eventually.
So to your example, Wednesday, the 27th, Cardinals Mets was that day game with the brawl, 15 runs. Royals White Sox, 10 runs. Padres Reds, 13 runs. Rockies Phillies, 10 runs.
Yeah.
So just to reference some examples, Angels Guardians, 14 runs. We have a little bit of breaking news. Noah Syndergaard has been scratched from his start tonight.
Well, who saw that coming?
Yeah, here we go.
Okay, so this is what we do. We read the news, I read and then you react to it. So now, I mean, of course, the line is gone, so that's off the table for now. But what's your reaction to how you play the game? They're playing the White Sox.
So if the Whites, go ahead, Lamarca, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it's the Angels have been playing some great baseball this season, but it's been more due to their offense than their pitching staff. And honestly, Noah Syndergaard has been great when he's been out there, right? He's been pitching like he's looked pretty much pre-injury Noah Syndergaard. But the guy is a walking injury, right? Yeah. And it's just more proof that he was never going to justify this absolutely bananas contract that the Angels gave him in the offseason. You know, they gave him what? It was like $20 million approximately. And they said he was going to be limited to like 18 starts. Yeah. It's just absurd. So it's not surprising. It will impact them. You know, they don't have very much pitching depth, but as long as the Angels continue to hit, they should be okay.
I'm curious what they might. Oh, they'll probably go to an opener, I would presume, right? When you scratch the starter, it's 5:30.
Yeah, there's probably a very good likelihood that this will end up being a bullpen game, which is actually probably worse for the White Sox. Like, the White Sox are a team that when they're facing a lefty, like, you always want to be on the White Sox when they're facing a lefty. Like, that team is just.
Jimmy Herget will start in place of Noah Syndergaard.
I'm not going to lie. I cover baseball. I have no idea who that is.
You don't know who that is? Okay.
I have no idea who that is. I'm assuming that's a guy from AAA. Because he's probably not even, he might not even be in the system.
Let's see if he's in the contest. Jimmy Herget. I don't know.
Doesn't look like it.
Yes.
There he is.
Oh, there he is.
I think it's
actually. There he is.
He's sheer out of the bullpen.
Oh, look at this guy. There we go. You know, it's like, you know, even if you cover football, like you don't know like the fourth string offensive lineman. Like this is who this guy is, right? He plays in the bullpen.
It's a clear opener situation. He's made 8 appearances this year, 8.1 innings total. He's been roughed up, but his advanced metrics are really good. 2.23 FIP, 1.88 xFIP. There's no reason to play him. He's not a DFS value. He's going to go an inning or two. Don't take the bait.
Yep.
White Sox. Oh no, the Angels. The White Sox were favored. They're at home with Giolito pitching, but you could have. I'm curious now what the number will be on the Angels money line because I'm pretty sure it was at plus 110 before the Syndergaard news came in. So,
the other thing is that if you didn't have Syndergaard to start, you also could be looking at your bet getting voided too, because there is that. Because they're not gonna let your money line stand if you didn't have them starting, because then you're getting an amazing price on the White Sox when you never would have got that price if it wasn't happening that way. So if you didn't have both start or at least Syndergaard to start, then you're most likely getting your bet voided at this point. But when it comes back up, I would expect the White Sox to be much bigger favorites than it was at that point. Like I would not be surprised if they're 160 or 175 at the point when it comes back up.
As far as other games that are on the board, and we know the starting pitcher is not going to, not start like Noah Syndergaard tonight. Steve, I just noticed you put the latest betting splits out there. You can find Steve on Twitter, SBuchanan24. He does a very thorough job, I must admit, getting the betting splits up for baseball. He gets them up first thing in the morning, then he updates you. And I think Lamarca, he might be running out of ways to be nifty about these split releases, we're still in April, so we'll have to, make a spreadsheet for him to figure out other ways he can update these. Anyway, Steve, anything that jumps out to you is what
the hell are you talking about?
You know what I'm talking about. The way you put, look, these are the updated splits and they're beautiful, just like you. I mean, come on. Like,
yeah, a little Friday motivation. What the hell's wrong with that? Like you read that tweet and you smile and you go, you know what? My Friday night is going to absolutely rock now because I just got a little inspiration from SBuchanan24. Don't be mad at us because you're in New York and you're an absolute pit. Like, don't be mad at us because of that. I'm trying to spread some joy, and you're just, you're in your car wash. You're all pissed off. I'm just trying to spread, good vibes on Friday.
All right, fair enough. I'll take it back for now. Anything as far as the splits that jump out to you and you say to yourself, "Ooh, the public might have this wrong."
I mean, the public's always wrong. I mean, first and foremost, let's just throw that out there for 9 times out of 10. But no, for the most part, actually, I think this is I think this looks about right. Like I really like the Dodgers tonight going against Tyler Alexander for the Tigers. The public's all over him, despite them being one of the biggest favorites on the night. The Phillies and Mets game, I also think is a strong game to go under their total tonight at 7 runs. The handle is heavily on the under in that one, 59% compared to just 34% of the bets, but you got Aaron Nola against McGill, both of these guys have just been phenomenal. Nola finally looked like his old self in his last start going against the Brewers. He kind of had a rough start, first couple starts of the season, but it looks like he's finally back on track. His advanced numbers are better than what he's also thrown out there too as well. So we might be getting a little bit unlucky as we watch you struggle to try to get these names up. But yeah, Nola finally looks like he's back on track. So I think that's a really good game to go under tonight. And just at the rate these games are going under to begin with. So 7 runs, I think is a fairly set number. And I think taking the under in that game is the way to go.
Okay. How about you, Mark?
The one thing I will say about, to Steve's point is that the unders, while they have been insanely profitable this season, it has been at the higher numbers, right? If you look at unders of 7.5 or lower, you're only 2 games over 500 at this point in those contests. That's only good. That's good for a negative return on investment. When you start looking at games with a total of 8 or higher, now you're getting to a point where you have a plus 20% return on investment. So I would be a little bit wary of taking under on a game with a total as low as 7, but I do agree it's 2 good pitchers, that are going to be squaring off tonight. So the one thing that really stands out to me when you look at the betting splits outside of Baltimore, which I already touched on, but the Pirates seem to be getting some sharp love tonight.
They really do.
Zach Thompson against Yu Darvish.
Unsurprisingly, the Pirates are getting 10% of the money line wagers right now, but they're getting 43% of the dollars, which is a pretty massive differential. I think part of that stems from the fact that sharp bettors are kind of in agreement that Yu Darvish is not really as good of a pitcher as he used to be. He had a 4.22 ERA last year. He's at 4.43 this season. The advanced metrics have him as pretty much an average pitcher, right around a 4, FIP. So Zach Thompson has been dreadful this year. His ERA, I want to say, is over 10. But I think they're saying I have a chance to fade a pitcher that I believe is a bit overvalued with a home team at, plus 160. So I think that's or 155. I think that's something that the Sharps are taking very seriously tonight.
Any interest in an over in that game? Possibly?
No.
I could be talked into an over. I mean, I just talked about Zach Thompson being, and no disrespect to DraftKings Zach Thompson, aka the real ZT, aka the professor. He's been terrible. If I think Yu Darvish is overrated too, it would make sense that there's going to be some scoring in this contest.
7.5 plus 105, and just some trends here. The total has gone over in 4 of San Diego's last 5 when playing at Pittsburgh, whatever that's worth. And the under's hitting a lot of Pittsburgh games this year. Pittsburgh, 8 of the last 10 Pirates games have gone under.
Have you looked at that lineup?
The Pirates?
Yep.
Yeah, but they're hanging around. They're hanging around.
They're hanging around?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's April. Everyone's hanging around right now.
Not the
They're not
Reds.
going to be hanging. I know. I'm trying to get those bets cashed. I'm gonna remind the sportsbook again tomorrow.
There ain't
Hey,
no
how
limit.
about-
I mean,
Yeah, no chance. No, they're done. They're already done. They're not even out of April, and they're done.
they're done. They were supposed to win. Like, what was their projected win total? 65? 69?
70,
on pace,
79 and a
baby.
half.
DraftKings, pay out the Pirates overs now, you cowards.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want Reds unders to be paid out now, what about the Pirates overs?
Yeah, I'll see what I can bully them. Yeah, they're a bunch of cowards behind their handles. I can bully them.
Wow, that's pretty strong of you to say that. That's
The check's gonna clear in 2 weeks. I'll say whatever I want.
real quick, just as an aside, I still can't believe we were at a point month and a half ago, we almost didn't have a season, and you almost didn't have a job.
I know. Oh, no. I would have had a job, but I would have been like a fake expert. I would have been talking about darts, and
You would have been down in Florida golfing.
USFL, I think, would have been Steve's niche.
Yeah, no doubt. No, yeah, you're totally right. USFL would be like my thing, and I'd be like fake excited for it.
F1 guy, maybe.
Yeah. Well, that's Pierce. That's Pierce Dietrich.
Yeah, you're
That's
right. We got
his
Pierce
realm.
for that. Sure.
But yeah, whatever the ATP estranol is, or however you say that, estrel. Yeah, on the sports book right now, whatever that is, I'd probably be an expert in it.
You guys still do daily fantasy discussion on the show, right?
Yeah, dude.
Okay. How do I build a lineup tonight?
You start and end with Nestor Cortez. Dude is just absolutely nasty. The thing that here's what LaMarca, let's talk through this, right?
Okay.
You're a starting pitcher, all right?
Me?
Yeah.
I've always viewed myself as more of a flamethrower out of the bullpen, but continue.
Okay. All right. So you're still pitching no matter what. Have you watched him pitch this year?
Yeah.
Okay. How does he do all the funky movements and still throws absolute fire? Because I feel like the start and stops that just kills all your momentum, and then he's just chucking it down there, and it's absolute fire. I don't know how he does it.
Deception king.
He really is.
Yeah, I mean the stuff has looked really good. He's got 20 strikeouts over his last 2 starts. The best part is I don't think Cortez is going to be particularly popular tonight.
That's insane to me.
He's not. I mean, I think more people are going to pay up for Lucas Giolito. So I really like Nestor Cortez in tournaments.
The Royals team total was set at 3.5. Like, I think that's also a play too, taking the under on that. Now, the Royals aren't a team that strike out a lot, and it's kind of been like this for a couple of years now, where they've just been a really tough team to strike out against, and that's already continued this year. But in that type of scenario, like, I like that more, because if they're not striking out, then Cortez isn't having to throw as many pitches to try to get these strikeouts, so he can go deeper into these games. So
You still
even
want
though,
the
like,
case,
of
but-
course, you still want the Ks, but like for me, it's like that's why I don't mind paying up for Cortez, because yes, maybe the Royals don't strike out as much, but like he could realistically go 7 innings in this game, and you're still in that realm. So I think that there is also sometimes that advantage that, yeah, maybe they're not facing a strikeout prone team, but you might also be getting Cortez an extra inning in this game too. So yes, he's the most expensive pitcher, but I absolutely love him tonight. Like, he was my favorite pitcher immediately when I saw this slate. And I think you do have to start with him. And I think you can go with Giolito too. I don't mind going up 2 strong pitchers in this one, because I think there is some of these teams are just so mispriced. Like Lamarca and I were talking about this last week, where the Braves were like all like 3,500 and below. It was absolutely asinine how cheap some of these teams were. But at least how the algorithm has been thus far, like stacking teams hasn't been as much as an issue, I think, in years past, just how the algorithm has churned out some of these salaries.
You're saying stacking is still effective.
No, of course, but because the algorithm just feels like it's off. Like when we were stacking the Braves last Friday, there was nobody over like 4,200 or something like that, and it was insane. And they were in a great matchup, and there was literally no explanation why some of these guys were as cheap as they were. Like Marcell Ozuna was 3,000. Austin Riley was 3,200. Matt Olson was like 3,200. Like, it was stupid how cheap they were, and it's like you could fit anybody in with those guys. So that was more of the example that I was giving, is that the algorithm, the pricing has been like really off or whatever. Because look at Ozuna now.
Yep.
We're literally a week to the day, and now he's up $1,100. Olsen is up almost $2,000 from where he was. Like, it's been kind of crazy. So stacking hasn't been as hard to do because of how off some of these pricings have felt. Yes.
Padres, Pirates, and Mariners, Marlins are not on the main slate,
right.
Folks. They start before 7 o'clock.
Today's underpriced offense that
I was just going to say. So who's the Braves today?
It's the Reds. They're playing in Coors Field in the game with the highest implied team total on the slate. And look at these price tags. This is a Coors Field team.
Joey Votto. I've never seen Joey Votto sub 3K.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Repeat, a Coors Field team. So literally everyone is going to be stacking the Reds tonight. I think if you want, to have the same lineup as everybody else, you stack the Reds and then you pay up at both pitcher spots. And it's hard to argue against it when you look at just how cheap this offense is.
It's stupid.
It's kind of silly. If you are looking to be contrarian, I will continue to stand for the New York Yankees, who are basically leading the league in every advanced hitting category. Barrel percentage, hard hit percentage, average exit velocity, expecting batting average, expected slugging, expected WOBA. Like, they lead it in everything. So just load up on the Yankees. I think that pairing the Yankees and the Reds will probably be popular. You kind of stack both of those teams, but I expect their ownership to be a little bit more modest than Cincinnati. So I've been attacking the Yankees a lot recently, and I'm not going to stop today.
You get some plus money on the Yankees team total, over 5.5 plus 110.
That's a pretty big team total, but I hear what you're saying. Yes, that is the plus money is pretty nice. Yeah, dude.
How about some value, guys? I mean, you already cited the Reds, of course, as a team you could go down and find plenty. But is any other teams, Steve?
The Houston Astros going against UC Kikuchi, who is the trash that the Mariners didn't need anymore. So they got rid of him. We don't need that type of negativity on our team. So you can go to the Toronto Blue Jays and fail over there. Kikuchi is been so lucky this season. This guy's ERA should be in double digits. I don't know how he's getting away with it. But you look at his numbers the first time through the order, since even dating back to last year. The first time through the order for Yusei Kikuchi is a 5.66 FIP, a 5.7 walks per 9 inning, and a 1.6 home run over 9 inning. Teams jump on him early when he's not too busy walking them all. He is walking this season over 7 batters per 9 inning. 7 batters per 9 inning in his 3 starts against Houston, Boston, Yankees. Now he's facing one of the better offenses in the league against lefties, a team that does not strike out, and a team that will draw walks. Nobody is overly expensive on the Astros tonight. And I don't think the Astros are going to be getting a ton of ownership tonight either, because we have those guys in Coors Field. We have some other teams that are looking to be more highly owned projection-wise. But you look at the prices here. Like Bregman, I have no problem paying up for Alvarez, and then kind of pick and choose after that. I don't mind left on left with Brantley because you're going to get a better matchup later in the game because Kikuchi is not lasting long in this one. Gurriel, who is a left-handed hitting monster, is 3,600 in the 5 spot. A lot of good guys you can choose from here against somebody who cannot go over the strike zone at all. And then I think it's McCormick is leading off tonight. I think
lead off 2,600 for Chaz.
I mean, come on. I mean, there's nothing to argue there.
Yeah, great night for cheap leadoff hitters. You've got Chaz at 2,600. The Braves are hitting a young man by the name of Travis Demerite.
I bet he's a great guy.
Damn right.
Damn right he's batting leadoff for the Braves at 2K.
Okay, I couldn't.
So, yeah, it's and again, in Texas for the Braves tonight, one of the best hitters ballparks in baseball. It's a great night to save money with your hitters and load up at pitcher. The only problem is I don't feel like there's a ton of slam dunk pitching options. We've talked about Nestor Cortez. I agree with Steve. I think he's the best of the bunch. After that, I don't know who you feel super comfortable with. Giolito has been good to start the year, but he hasn't pitched more than 4 innings. Tyler McGill has been great. He's got a tough matchup against the Phillies in another. He has at home tonight, which is a positive. So maybe you go both New York guys. I don't know. I can't pay 9,400 for Wainwright. I just can't do it. I know he's been pretty good, but he's still like 57 years old.
Hey, can I throw a name at you, Lamarca? I'm curious if you have a take on him or not tonight.
Yeah.
You sit back for a second, Glash. Dylan Bundy's looked pretty damn good for the Twins in his 3 or 4 starts this season. And I was like, okay, he's got to be getting lucky or whatever. His FIP is like pristine on top of it too. Like, I don't want to like give into the Dylan Bundy hype, but like, this feels like a good spot against the Rays and the way he's been pitching. This game's in Tampa. I'm like 8,300. That feels off.
Yeah, I'm not particularly interested in that price tag just because Dylan Bundy, even though he has been great this season, like you said, he's still not striking dudes out. He's got a K9 of right around 7. And Tampa Bay, even though they're not off to like a torrid start this season, they are a team that I still respect what they can do. So I will be off of Dylan Bundy tonight, but I hear your point. It does make some sense. It'll be curious to see what his ownership checks in at. I think he could be very contrarian. So if you like him, you might have a chance to grab him at sub 10, maybe even sub 5% ownership,
which is about the norm for him at any point because nobody wants to play him ever. So this is like a norm for Dylan Bundy and all of his home runs he loves to give up. All right, you can host again, Glash.
One home run. He hasn't given up a home run this year.
Yeah, him and Patrick Corbin. It's been amazing. Or did Corbin give up in one of his last start? He might have. But yeah, Patrick Corbin and Dylan Bundy, they've been keeping it in the ballpark. Let's check on old Patrick Corbin.
Well, nobody's hitting any home runs this year except for Byron Buxton.
Back to the under trend. Right.
Right. Byron Buxton and Jock Peterson. Those are your home runs.
And Anthony Rizzo's 330-foot wall scrapers.
Oh, my God.
Some of those home runs at that ballpark, they're such a joke.
All of them.
Yeah, some
Hey,
are clobbered by
And
sticks.
Anthony Rizzo just had 3 routine fly balls, and they went
to
out.
defend.
Good for him for
the
re-signing
Yankees.
there. He made the right call.
Yeah, no, he did. I'm not blaming him. I mean,
To
good
defend
for
the
you.
Yankees, which is not a role that I find myself doing often. The other teams get to hit there too. You know, it's not
Right.
it's not like
That's right, Lamarca.
the other team has to travel next door and play when they're up at the plate. They can
true.
do the same thing.
You're right. Very good point. Bundy, yeah. Wow, I'm surprised. So Bundy's strikeout prop is juiced to -120. The over's at -120 for tonight.
I would 120 juiced.
Slightly. Slightly. Okay. I think that's it for DFS. That's good stuff. Oh, by the way, you guys trust Giolito against the Angels? That lineup?
Yeah,
He's been that good. Okay.
his stuff is that good. I have no issues.
I don't trust him.
Really?
I mean, you kind of have to play him just because there's too much hitting value. But do I feel confident that Lucas Giolito is going to go shut down the Angels?
Sure.
Absolutely not.
Well, he's
No,
not
that's a
The
fair
guy's
point.
pitched
not really
4
pitching
innings in
that
his
much.
2 starts.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Right. Is it really worth 9,500 for 4 innings of work? I mean, 9 strikeouts is a lot against a good Twins lineup for sure.
Well, I think it's also more indicative of the lack of pitching on this slate too, right?
Yeah.
I think that has some of it to do with it as well. But the Angels are striking out about league average at this point against righties. But yeah, the rest of their numbers are pretty scary.
So we got a couple more minutes. Also, some news coming in. Chris Bryant on the 10-day injured list now. I'm not sure if that's a surprise or not, if he was hurt earlier in the week.
I knew he missed a couple of games. I wasn't sure what it was. I think it was a back issue that he was having, but it's actually too bad because he's gotten off to like a torrid start with the Rockies, who are playing well, by the way, over 500. They just have the unfortunate of being in that division with the other powerhouses. So they've gotten off to a good start. They'd be in first place in a few divisions right now, which is amazing.
Can I give out a basketball pick?
Yeah, well, I wanted to give Steve a quick minute on the Mariners. What's the state of the Mariners?
All right, Steve, go ahead.
No. Let Lamarca do his thing. Go ahead.
Sure. Well, I'm not gonna transition back to baseball. Doesn't make a lot of sense.
I don't give a crap. I get paid the same whether you do it or not. No, I care.
Marco, who wins Game 7 tonight?
Well, it's Game 6. I like
yeah, crap, it is Game
Timberwolves
6,
to
my
force
fault.
a Game 7. But no, that's not where my pick comes from. We're heading over to the series prices. We're taking a little stroll with my friend Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Bucks at +170. I get it. Boston is great. Their defense has been phenomenal, and the Bucks are without Chris Middleton for, you would imagine, at least the first couple of games of this series.
He's out for the series, Lamarca, reportedly.
You've already ruled him out for the entire series?
The Wojs of the world, Shams, the reporting is he's going to miss the whole series.
Don't care. Giannis is the best player in the world.
I think you're right. I think keep going. I think you're onto something here.
Giannis is the best player in the world. The perception of the Celtics has changed drastically based on the fact that they swept the Nets, who, by the way, were the 7 seed in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like it's the Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving thing. That team was overrated all year. I really like the Celtics. I think that whoever wins this matchup goes to the NBA Finals and has a chance to win the whole thing. But I think that this price is just off. Right? It's too much for Giannis, who is the best player in the world, and shutting down him and shutting down Kevin Durant are completely different tasks. And I'm not saying that the Celtics can't do it, but I'm going to need to see it to believe it.
Right, but you're talking price. It's a good price, and you know what could happen is Milwaukee steals a game in Boston, and you could come back and hedge your bet with a Celtics pick, possibly, if you want to. Right? I mean,
yes, absolutely.
And just to read off here, Shams Charania, left MCL injury of Bucks All-Star Chris Middleton is a grade 2 sprain, expected to miss the entire second round series against the Celtics. So it's not official. It's just the report.
Yeah, all I will say is, Devin Booker was expected to miss 2 to 3 weeks with his injury.
Good point.
So it's the playoffs. Guys become much tougher in the postseason. They'll suck it up if they have to.
My biggest concern for the Celtics is the shooting of Milwaukee. And look, I thought, now look, Chicago very beat up, the Chicago Bulls. But man, Grayson Allen has turned into quite the weapon off the bench. Portis is shooting the three at 39% this season. Connaughton, Matthews, Drew Holiday. And they've also, I think there should be some more weight. This team did win the whole thing last year. So I almost feel like, I think you're right. Like, look at it this way. If the Celtics were without Jaylen Brown, their second best player, I would think the Celtics are in a lot of trouble. I don't feel that way with Milwaukee.
I don't think Middleton's their second best player, for the record. I think it's Drew Holiday.
Just being a Celtics person, Middleton kills the Celtics though when they play each other head to head. He's been a Celtics but I mean, like I said, the shooting of the Bucks, I think, is being underappreciated. And I think you're right. The number Celtics minus 200, like, come on, like that's even. I hope they win, but I mean that's drastic.
I hope they win too. I have a 20-1 ticket on the Celtics to win the finals this year.
Very good. Okay, before we go, Steve, you want to spend a second on the Mariners or no?
I mean, they're winning the West. What's there to talk about?
Okay, that's why
making the playoffs. That was one of the easiest bets you can make this offseason. Winning the West is just the cherry on top. What's the big deal?
Well, they're not in first place in the West. The Angels are.
Glash, it's April 29th. You think they're that worried? No, you know who's not in first place? The Astros. The favorites. How about that? Okay. What do we got there? Oh, there he is.
Mariners to win the West plus 330.
Yeah, I mean, you missed the value. It was at 7 something before. Plus 750. That's where your boy got it at.
There's no value. There's zero value in the Astros. I mean, the Astros. I mean, maybe you wait. If the Astros don't get it together soon, maybe you find some value in the Astros.
Why would you take them at minus 140 when they're in third place?
No, I said if you wait and they don't get their act together, maybe
yeah. I mean, you'll just be donating to the sports book,
right?
So I mean, that's
Mariners.
Fine, right?
Yeah, right. Okay, it's like fill in the blank.
I mean, I say this all the time. I'm not saying it in August 31st. Oh, this team's going to win the division. Like, well, no crap. I'm saying this. February.
It's not like it's no longer hosting the show. It's like fill in the blank. It's like a Mad Libs. Like it's like a comic book, and you just try to fill in each other's sentences. It's kind of cute. So
finish each other's sandwiches.
Go check on all the soaps and suds in the background.
There we go. Okay, let's go. You all have a great rest of your Friday night. Best of luck with your baseball bets if you so choose, and your lineups this evening. And LaMarca is just getting ahead of the curve with the Milwaukee Bucks, picking that, and that could very well change by Sunday. And nice. Is that a Giannis card, LaMarca?
Yeah,
nice, dude. All right. So thanks to Eamon and Tom behind the scenes as always. Thanks to Steve Buchanan. S. Buchanan 24 for the latest betting splits. He might be done for the night, but look for witty,
heartwarming, feel good Friday tweets coming from.
Thank you, LaMarca. Thank you.
Like a nice clean car. It just cheers up your day. Those betting splits.
Yep, smells great too.
Yep, that's right. For Matt LaMarca, Brendan Glasheen, thanks everybody for tuning in. We're back Monday with this show, The Slate, in that 5 o'clock Eastern time window, and also we have The Sweat that airs at 11 a.m. YouTube, Twitch, on DraftKings, and also on the DK Nation Twitter stream. Thanks so much. Have a great weekend and see you later. Bye.
Can't wait.